So as I said, I'm just going to wait a couple of minutes before we start the class. Make sure you have some form of a strap or belt or scarf that you could hook over a foot if you need to for the class, and also a block or something like a book, something that's at least as high as your phone, because you need to be able to balance on that, and it needs to be steady as well, so something that feels stable. Even if you use a chair for that part of the pose, that's perfectly okay. It's only going to be one pose where we're going to need the block. So make sure you're nice and warm before we start, because we are going to start seated. How's everyone's day been? Did you get outside for a walk? I did. It was quite cold. I had to be wrapped up with a scarf and a really warm jacket, and next time I'm going to wear gloves for sure. But I went down and saw my new favourite tree, which is this cherry blossom, which is just sprung up out of it, just seems like nowhere, and it's gorgeous pink flowers against this blue sky. It always just amazes me how beautiful nature can be and how it can surprise you as well. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed your day. So I'm going to start. So welcome everyone to this evening's Vinyasa Yoga class. This is going to be some parts of Somachi and some parts Vinyasa. So Somachi is Greek for, Soma is Greek for the word body, and Chi is energy or life force. So we're talking about the quality of energy or life force going through the body. We're looking at the quality of energy within us and around us, so becoming aware of the energy around us, supporting us when we're going through the poses. So Somachi was developed by my teacher, Leanne Metcalf, and she studied Tai Chi and somatics and dancing and martial arts, so it's kind of a blend of all that. So it feels like Tai Chi, martial arts, dance. You're kind of almost literally dancing through the moves, which feels really, really nice. So we're focusing on the transitions between the moves. Rather than just going from point A to point B, we're thinking, how can we make it flow? And I'm going to guide you through. So in order to come into our body, we need to start with the ground. And to come into the ground, we start with our breath. So I'm going to invite you to take a deep inhale and sigh out. Inhale in and exhale, sigh out. Deep inhale. Exhale out. One more, inhale. Exhale. You might want to close your eyes. And just notice how it feels. Seated on the ground, connected to the earth, becoming aware of your body. So we're going to bring a bit of gentle movement into the body, so just gently rocking from side to side, just rocking from one hip bone to the other, just noticing how that feels. And then we're going to slowly make that into a spiral. So we're going to rock forward, to the side, back, side, forward, side, back. And continuing around and noticing how there's just no effort required in this spiral at all. It's literally just the momentum of the body. Then we're going to go the other way. So just rocking side to start. And then when you've got that momentum, going forward, side, back, side, and spiraling the other direction. Just letting the body just take you through that flow. And just becoming aware that spiral and waves are just part of the natural energy flow within the body and within the earth, everything around us. And making those spirals smaller and smaller until you come to a complete stop. Just noticing that pause for a moment. And opening your eyes, you're going to reach one arm out to the side as far as you can, and the other arm as far as you can, almost like you can touch the opposite wall. Reach as far as you can, reach as far as you can. You probably feel like you're starting to rock on your body, and then reach across, place that hand down and raise the other arm up and look underneath that shoulder. So looking up towards the sky. And then what you're going to do is you're going to allow this hand to trail along the ground. Come over to the other side, press that hand down, and then look up. Make sure your scarf doesn't get in the way. And then release that hand down, trail down and up. Somachi has a lot of circular flowing movement. We pretty much just always keep moving. Trail that hand and then up. And then one more each side. Really starting to feel that shoulder starting to open up, looking up towards the ceiling. Release the hand down and up. And bring both hands down. Stretch the hands above your head. So clasp the hands in front of you, push them away and then raise up. Make sure you don't bring your shoulder blades too high up towards your ears, so try and keep your shoulders down. Good. And then bring the hands behind you, clasp the hands and raise the arms up. So we're going to do a bit of shoulder work in today's class, so we can get to our peak fun pose, which is an opening of the shoulders. And then releasing down. And just rolling the shoulders back a couple of times, rolling them forwards, up to the ears, and drop. Shoulders up to the ears, drop. One more, up, and drop. And a little bit of a wriggle. And just closing your eyes. Notice how you feel. Notice if you can begin to feel that slight, maybe tingling sensation in the body, a slight bit of warmth just with that slight movement. Now becoming aware of your breath. Noticing if you're breathing up high into the chest and you can feel your collarbones lifting as you breathe in. Notice if there's any movement in the belly when you breathe. Now beginning to consciously deepen the breath by breathing into the side and back of the ribs. You may place your hands on the sides of the ribs if you wish to feel. And the belly will puff out. And with the exhale, the belly is going to draw towards the spine and the ribs will draw towards the spine. So you breathe in, expand the side and back of the ribs. The belly will puff out. As you exhale, the belly draws back towards the spine and the ribs draw towards the spine. So in a moment, we're going to start a counting breath pattern. If my count is too fast or too slow, feel free to maintain your own deep and even rhythm. The intention is to find a deep, even breathing pattern. Breathing in, 2, 3, and out, 2, 3. In, 2, 3, and out, 2, 3. In, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. In and out, and in and out, and in and out. And you can allow your breath to come back to a natural breathing pattern. Know that you can come back to this breathing pattern anytime during the class when you want to focus on the pose and you want to bring yourself into your body and center yourself. The breath is an incredible tool for bringing us into ourselves. So now we're going to come to lie on our back. So make sure you've got nothing behind you. So that if it feels good for you to rock on your back, draw your legs up and crossing your legs over the ankles, placing your hands just below the knees, and we're going to rock back and forth gently until we come to rest on our back. So it feels really nice to massage the spine here, and then we find position to rest. And once we're on our back, we draw our knees in towards our chest and press them in. So we inhale, a slight release, then exhale, draw your knees down towards your chest. Inhale, slight release. Exhale, draw the knees down. Make sure you're not lifting your tailbone up towards the sky. So draw the tailbone down as you draw the knees down. It'll feel different. Inhale. Exhale, draw the tailbone down. Draw the knees in towards the chest. Lengthen the back of the neck. And slight release. Keep your hands on your knees. Bring your big toes to touch. And you'll circle your knees out and away from you, like you're swimming like a frog. So the knees come through the center, circle out to the sides, then come back to the center, keeping the big toes touching. Just noticing how your hips feel. Noticing any tension or tightness. And then going in the other direction. Knees come to the center, out to the side, and back in. And then give your knees a bit of a squeeze. Now take the strap or scarf or belt, wherever it is at your side, and you're going to extend your right leg towards the sky, hooking the strap across the foot, so across this center part of the foot. And with your left leg, you're either going to keep the knee bent and place the foot flat on the ground, or extend that leg straight but draw the toes towards you, because we want to keep this bottom leg active. Now this top knee can be bent, so we want to be feeling a stretch in the back of the calf here. Extend your heel towards the sky. Just becoming aware of the sensations. Extend a little more. Remember to breathe. Now we're going to begin to point and flex. So we inhale, we point our toes up towards the sky, and exhale, draw the toes towards you. Inhale, point up. Exhale, draw down. See if you can work the toes individually, almost like a rolling motion through the foot. Really good if you're a dancer, this kind of exercise. And then beginning to circle gently in one direction. You notice here I'm only circling my ankle, I'm not circling the whole leg. So I'm just limiting the motion to the ankle joint, and the strap helps to keep everything still. And then circling in the other way. Now take both straps into your left hand. Extend your right arm along the ground. Push your right shoulder blade firmly into the ground. Extend your left leg, and then allow your right leg to come across the body into a twist. Now you might need to bend your knee if you've got obstacles like I have. So we want to push our shoulder blade, right shoulder into the ground, and allow the leg to twist across the body, so you feel that twist in the body. You can either look towards the ceiling or look back towards your right hand, whatever feels good for you. Inhale to extend, exhale to come into the twist a little further. Inhale, extension, exhale, come into the twist. Inhale, draw that leg up to center, and then switching over legs. So popping your left foot into the strap. And with your right leg, you can either keep that knee bent and place the foot flat on the floor, or Extend the leg straight, but draw the toes towards you to keep that leg active. So we want to make sure also that our elbows are on the ground, so the elbows aren't up in the air. Make sure your strap is long enough so that you can comfortably have your elbows and shoulders on the ground and the back of the head on the ground. Extending that left heel towards the sky, relaxing the forehead. Extend the heel a little higher. And then beginning to point and flex. Inhale to point, exhale to draw the toes back. Remember that rolling motion through the foot. It might just be the big toe that moves separately, and that's more than enough, to be honest. Even the intention is sometimes good. Think, I just want my toes to move separately. That can be enough. And then we're going to circle in one direction. Remembering to just circle the ankle joint and not the whole leg. So just circling through the ankle and then in the other direction. And this time taking the strap into your right hand. Extend your left arm along the ground. And then allow the right leg to twist across the body, keeping the left shoulder blade firmly into the ground. Either look towards the ceiling or look back towards your hand. And then we're using our breath. Inhale to extend. Exhale to twist. Inhale to extend. Exhale to twist. And then drawing the leg up to center and releasing the strap. So we're going to come into a bit of core movement now. So drawing your knees in towards your chest and giving them a squeeze. And then circling them both together to massage the lower back. And then circling in the opposite direction. So extend your legs towards the sky. If this is uncomfortable for you, you can bend your legs and come into a 90-degree tabletop position. From here, we're going to look towards the belly as we peel our head, neck and shoulders off the ground. Look towards the belly, hands face forward and palms face each other. If there's any tension in the neck, place your hands behind your head to support the neck. Now you're going to inhale, expand the side and back of the ribs. As you exhale, draw your belly towards the spine. Inhale, expanding the side and back of the ribs. Exhale, belly towards the spine. Inhale, expand the side and back of the ribs. Exhale, this time drawing through pelvic floor. The girls will know what I mean. But imagine you're drawing water up through the center of you. So really deep contraction and then bringing the belly towards the spine. Inhale, expanding the side and back of the ribs. Exhale, drawing up through pelvic floor, drawing the belly towards the spine. Inhale, expanding the side and back of the ribs. Exhale, draw up through pelvic floor, belly towards the spine. Lastly, belly underneath the ribs. And then relax your head on the ground. Keep your feet where they are for the moment. Crossing the legs over at the ankles. And you're going to place your hands just below the knees. And you're going to rock up and down the spine. Remember, only if it feels good for you. And then you're going to rock and come over into a downward dog. And pedaling out your feet once you're there. And also getting rid of any scarves that may be in your way. So make sure you've got clear space. So once we come into our downward dog, we're just pedaling out the feet. We're warming up the ankles. It's quite a cold night, so you want to stay warm. And then holding in your downward dog. Fingertips push into the earth. Rotate the armpits towards each other. Shoulder blades go down the back of the body. Knees are slightly bent to raise the tailbone towards the sky. We're going to come into our convoluted dog. So I invite you to come down on your knees for a moment just to watch me, because you may not be familiar with this yet, and I'll guide you through. So just watching for the moment. From downward dog, what I do is I bend my knees, I bring the weight forward into plank, then I push my tailbone up towards the sky to come back into downward dog. I bend the knees, I bring the weight forward into plank, I push the tailbone up and back. So it looks like that. So I invite you to come into downward dog. So we begin, we bend the knees. We bring the weight forward over the hands into plank. Then we push our hands back and push our tailbone up towards the sky to come back into downward dog. Bend the knees, come forward to plank. Push the tailbone up, come up high on the tippy toes, back into downward dog. A couple more times. Keep your elbows straight, don't bend your elbows, so this is really working the shoulders. And then holding here in downward dog. We're going to go in the opposite direction. So we're going to come up on the toes, come forward into plank, bend the knees, and push the tailbone back up towards the sky. Up on the toes, forward into plank, bend the knees, push your hand to push the tailbone up towards the sky. Up on the toes, forward, bend. A couple more times. And then holding in downward dog. It's a nice warm up. Walking your hands back towards your feet. And then hanging in a forward fold. Keep the knees bent. Cross your elbows, grip opposite elbows, let the head hang. Enjoy the inversion for a moment. Shake your head, tiny head shake for no, tiny head shake for yes. Just loosening up the neck. Then grab the opposite elbow that you had. Feel that stretch along the back of the shoulders. Release the hands down. We're going to come into a half lift. So we look up, the shoulder blades come back, we create extension along the spine, and then we exhale, forward fold. So we'll do that again. We come up, the shoulder blades come back, we come into a tabletop back, so a flat back, and then exhale, fold. One more, coming up, half lift, shoulder blades back, look up, exhale, fold. This time, keep your knees bent, push your feet into the earth to encourage you to roll up through the spine, one vertebra at a time. The head is the last to come up, and then the hands will rise. Look towards the hands, and then melt down through the center of the body. Walk your hands out and come into plank. Wrists beneath the shoulders. Push your heels out away from you. Pull your belly towards the spine. If plank is too strong for you, you can always come down to your knees if you need to, if you have a bit of a sore shoulder or sore wrists. So from plank, we're going to come into our upward dog. So we release the knees down. Our elbows are only going to go as far as the ribs when we come down to the ground, or when we come towards the ground. So we're not coming all the way down here. That's really hard on the shoulders. So from here what we do, we start in the tabletop. We raise our toes. We come down, our elbows are going to brush the ribs, so draw the elbows in towards the center, and then when you're there, push your hands into the earth. The top of the feet will connect with the mat and push up, raising the legs up. Then push your hands away from the earth to open up the chest. Then push back into downward dog. Then walking your hands back towards your feet and forward fold, knees bent. Coming into your half lift, look up, shoulder blades back. Exhale, fold. Push your feet into the earth to roll up one vertebra at a time. Head is the last to come up. Arms rise, look towards the top. Exhale, melt down through the center of the body. Walk your hands out, coming into your plank. Wrists beneath the shoulders. Push your heels away from you. Pull your belly towards the spine. Lower the knees, raise the toes. Coming into upward dog. Elbows brush the ribs. Push into the earth. Top of the feet connect with the mat. Lift the legs up. Exhale back. Downward dog. Walk your hands back and fold. Knees bent. Inhale, half lift, look up. Exhale, fold. Push your feet into the earth to rise up through the body. Arms rise, look up. Exhale, melt down through the center of the body. Walk your hands out into your plank and hold. Lower the knees, raise the toes. Elbows brush the ribs. Push into the earth, upward dog. Exhale, back, downward dog, and hold. Inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, pull your belly towards the spine, come up on the toes. Look towards the hands as you step towards the front of the mat, and then exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to the heart. How are you all going? I'll let you catch your breath for a moment, and we're going to do some sun salutations. Starting with our hands at the heart, Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, bring the hands down through the center, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, look up, shoulder blades back. Exhale, fold, step back into downward dog and hold. Come forward into plank. Lower your knees, raise the toes. Elbows brush the ribs, push up into upward dog. Exhale, back into downward dog. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, pull the belly towards the spine. Inhale, look towards the hands as you step or jump towards the front. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to the heart. We're going to do a couple more rounds to really warm up the body. Inhale, arms rise, look up. Exhale, fold, melt down through the center. Inhale, half lift, look up. Exhale, fold, step back. Come forward into plank. Lower the knees, raise the toes. Elbows brush the ribs. Inhale into upward dog. Exhale, back into downward dog. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, pull the belly towards the spine. Inhale, look towards the front as you step or jump. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to the heart. One more. This time I'm going to guide you with your breath. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift, look up. Exhale, fold, step back into plank. Lower to the ground. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, back, downward dog. And hold. Breathe in, 2, 3, and out, 2, 3. Inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, pull the belly towards the spine. Inhale, look towards the front as you step towards the front of the mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to the heart. Gently closing the eyes. Becoming aware of your breath. Becoming aware of your heart rate. Becoming aware of your feet connecting with the earth. Open your eyes, pick your left foot up and step out to the side so that you come into a side front facing position. From here, you're going to angle your toes slightly out. So it's like a high squat. And then beginning to rub your hands, generating some heat, generating some warmth. Close your eyes if you wish, rubbing the hands, building that chi, building that energy. And then when you're ready, gently begin to separate them. And just begin to pulse them back and forth. Almost as if you're playing with a water balloon and you're just feeling that pulsing back and forth. And just notice if you can feel anything. Is there any tingling in the hands? Are your hands perhaps a little warmer? Is there any difference between the quality of the energy on the outside of your hands compared to between your hands? Is there, perhaps it feels a bit thicker or like a resistance? Okay, so open your eyes. Take this imaginary energy ball above your head. Twist towards your left. And then what you're going to do is release your head and neck down to the ground. Then use the strength of the legs to come back up. Release the head and neck down. Push into the legs to come back up. 2 more times. Release. Come back up. Release. Come back up. And take that imaginary energy ball back above your head. This time turning towards the right. And then release the head and neck. Push your legs into the earth to come back up. Release. Push into the earth, come back up. 3 more times in this direction. Keeping hold of that energy ball. And then coming out into a high squat. So here we bring our knees a little bit lower. We want to make sure that our knees don't go over our toes and our knees are in the same line as our toes. So lowering down, drawing your hands through the center into prayer. Draw everything up through the center and then push the energy out. So imagining we're pushing that energy out. We draw in, come down through the middle, draw everything up and then push that energy out as you come back down. Draw in, draw everything up, push out. 2 more. Draw in, push the energy out. 1 more, draw in, exhale out and hold. Bring your left elbow onto your left thigh and then rotate your right elbow towards the sky. Coming into a side angle hold. Now circle that hand out, down, away, and then bring your other arm up. So we go down, away, then bring the opposite arm up into your side angle. Circle out, back to the thigh, up, 1 more each side, out to the side, and coming back into standing. Come to the back of your mat, and I'm going to introduce you to something called chi walks. So this is a fundamental pose in Somachi. And it's all about teaching you the quality of chi and being aware of the space around and within you and how to work with that. So we're working with circular energy, we're working with contraction and expansion. So I invite you to take your hand and ball it into a fist. And just imagine if there was water, your hand was in a stream. Could that water enter the fist as it is? There would be a lot of resistance there. So then open the hand and just notice that if your hand is in water, you can see that the water is just going to flow over the hand and the energy can just flow. So the same way when we're in poses, if we're out here rigid, trying to draw our arms out of their sockets, it's really hard for energy to really flow. But if we just allow a little bit of softness in our movement and a little bit of buoyancy and a little bit of bounce, it's going to allow everything to flow a bit easier. So I'm going to show you this sequence first, and and then I will guide you through. So what I do is I start with my right leg, and I imagine that I'm picking that right leg up. And then I extend out, and I extend my arms out, and I extend everything out. Then I draw everything in, and then I extend back behind me, and I draw everything in, and I step down. So on the other side, it looks like this. I draw in, I extend the foot and the hands out in front. I draw everything in, I extend the leg behind me, I draw in, and I step down. So we're going to do that. I'm going to guide you. But as we do it, we're going to step one foot, heel toe, towards the front of the mat. So starting at the back of your mat. You're going to start with your hands at chest level, fingertips spread apart, and elbows slightly raised. This allows the heart energy to travel through. So remember how that water can travel through that open space? We want to allow energy to travel through open spaces. So we want our feet to be hip width apart. And just take a moment to connect with the earth for a moment, and maybe closing your eyes, perhaps rocking back and forth on your feet so you feel really grounded and really strong in the legs. So we're going to start with the right leg. So opening your eyes. You're going to inhale, circle the arms around, and then imagine you're picking up that right leg. And then as you exhale, push that foot out, push the hands out. Draw the hands in, draw the leg into the center, and then push out. Imagine you're pushing through water or through mud or through something thick. Now we're going to step down, heel, toe, a tiny bit in front. Now picking up the left leg, so reach down to the ground. Push that leg out, push the hands out. Draw everything in, contract in. Exhale, push out. Imagine you're going through mud or deep water. Draw in, step down, slightly in front, heel, toe. Circle around, draw that leg up. Push out, draw in, push out. Draw in, step down, heel, toe. Last time, circle around, draw the left leg up. Push out, pushing through mud. Draw in, extend behind. Draw in, step down, heel, toe, closing your eyes. So this pose does take practice. We're very used to just picking our legs up and just flinging them through space. So the idea of working with the energy around you can be a different sensation. So just visualize the mud, visualize the deep water, whatever it is that you need to help you find that balance in your poses. So coming to the top of the mat, we're going to go into Surya B. So from here we come into chair pose. So we squeeze our thighs together. We're going to sweep down and come up into a chair. Now I want to make sure that my weight is not too far forward when I'm in my chair. So I sit back, like I'm literally sitting back. And then I can lift those front toes. I want to also make sure my hips aren't tilted up, but my tailbone is slightly tucked under. And we raise the arms up. So from here we fold forward. Then inhale, half lift, look up, shoulder blades back. Exhale, fold, step back into downward dog. Come forward into plank. We're going to lower the knees, raise the toes. Come down into upward dog. Exhale, back into downward dog and hold. You're going to raise the right leg. Make sure you don't raise it so high that your hips tip up towards the ceiling, so keeping the hips square. Draw the knee towards the chest, pull the belly towards the spine. Arch your back like a cat and bring your weight forward over the hands. And then see if you can gently place that foot in between the hands. You can pick it up and bring it forward. Then push up into warrior one. So pivot on the back foot 45 degrees. Front knee is at 90 degrees. And then cartwheel the hands down. Raise that front foot up. Come back into downward dog. We're going to go through a flow through here. So that's when we come forward into plank. We lower the knees, raise the toes. Elbows brush the ribs into upward dog. Exhale back into downward dog. Raising the left leg. Keep the hips square. Bring the knee towards the chest. Pull the belly towards the spine. Arch that back. Come up high on the toes. Bring the weight forward so that you can gently place that foot between the hands. Pivot the back foot to 45 degrees. Keeping the front knee bent. Warrior one. Imagine you're stretching the mat with your legs. Cartwheel the hands down. Raise that front foot up. Bring it down into downward dog. Come forward into plank. Now you have the option here to go into chaturanga, which is where your knees stay off the ground and you lower your body until your elbows are in line with your ribs and then push up into upward dog and then come back into downward dog. Or if it's easier on your body, you can choose to go through the flow the way we've been doing it, which is to lower the knees, raise the toes, elbows brush the ribs as you push up into upward dog and then come back to downward dog. From downward dog, we inhale, bend our knees, exhale, pull the belly towards the spine, look towards the hands as you step towards the front of the mat. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to the heart. So we're going to go into a warrior series now. Make sure that your block or your book or something is close by because you're going to use that shortly. With our hands at the top of the mat. Squeeze the thighs together, chair pose. So sweep down, coming up into your chair. Sit back. Make sure you can raise those toes so the weight's on the heels. Forward fold. Half lift, look up, shoulder blades back. Exhale, fold, step back into downward dog. Come forward into plank. Lower down into upward dog. Exhale, back, downward dog. Raise the right leg, bring the knee towards the chest, pull the belly towards the spine, bring the weight forward, step that foot forward into warrior one. Back foot at 45 degrees, front knee at 90 degrees. Hips squaring off towards the front. Bring the hands down, open out into warrior two. Back foot comes to 90 degrees, front knee to 90 degrees. Circling, spiraling out the hips towards the back. From here, we're going to come into a move called Skandasana. So I'll show you what it looks like first. I imagine I have a sword. Like I said, Somachi is imagination and imagining the air around you. And I take that sword, I bring it behind me, I bring it in front, and then I come down to either a lunge here or balance down to the ground into a lotus. And then I transition my weight back into warrior two. So I'm going to guide you through. So look at your front hand. Flip that front palm. Imagine you've got a sword. Now this sword is being used to cut off any ignorance or any beliefs in ourselves that we wish to get rid of or that don't serve us anymore. So we've got the sword, we can feel the weight of the sword. Swing it behind you, bring it around in front as you transition to the front. Then come over to lunge on the front leg, opening the hands out into a lotus. So your lotus is kindness and compassion and understanding. And then transition to the back foot, transition to the front foot, warrior two. Bring your front elbow down to the knee and then open up the top arm into the side angle. Make sure you're not putting too much weight on this front arm, so just lift your waist up slightly so you're activating the core. And then circle that hand down and around, coming back into warrior two. Cartwheel both hands down to the ground. Raise that front foot up. And then you can go through a flow through. So from here, we come back into downward dog. Forward into plank. Lower the knees, raise the toes. Upward dog. Back into downward dog. And hold. We're going to go on the other side. So raising the left leg, bring the knee towards the chest, pull the belly towards the spine, look towards the front as you step towards the front of the mat. Coming into warrior one. Now I'm going to turn around because I'm on the other side to you. Front knee at 90 degrees, back foot at 45. Open hands out to warrior two. Back foot to 90 degrees, front knee at 90 degrees. Spiral those hips open out to the back. Skandasana. Remember, we've got that imaginary sword. Feel the weight of the sword. Think about this sword cutting off any ignorance or any beliefs in yourself that don't serve you anymore, that are outdated. So swinging that sword behind, carving through space, coming over to lunge on the front leg, and opening up into wisdom and compassion and understanding. Bring the weight to the back foot, to the front foot. Warrior two. Bring your front elbow down, open the top arm up, side angle. Feel one long line from the little toe to the little finger. If you wish, you can bring that hand behind to come into a half bind. Always go to your comfort level. And then circling back into warrior two. Hold. Cartwheel the hands down. Raise that front foot up. Bring it down. And go through your flow. Or you can hold in downward dog. You're always welcome to just hold. Or even rest in child, which is bringing your big toes together. Knees out wide and resting your head, keeping your arms forward. You can take child's at any time during class. No permission needed for this one. And I can't see you, so you could do child's for the whole class, I wouldn't actually know. And then coming back up into downward dog. Listen to your body, that's all I'm getting at. So from here, bend the knees. Exhale, pull the belly towards the spine. Inhale, look towards the front as you step or jump towards the front. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to the heart. So we're going to do that again. And we're going to go a little further this time. So like I said, have your brick or your block nearby because we're going to come into a balance. Okay. Starting at the top of the mat, hands to the heart. Starting in chair, squeeze the thighs together, sweep down and up into your chair, sit back in that chair, raise the front toes. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift, look up, shoulder blades back. Exhale, fold, step back into plank, lower down to the ground, into upward dog. And exhale back into downward dog. Raise the right leg. Bring the knee towards the chest, pull the belly towards the spine. Step that foot in between the hands, coming up into warrior one. Front knee 90 degrees, back foot at 45. Open the hands out. Warrior two. Imagine, grab your sword. Skandasana. But feel the weight of that sword. Swing it behind you, carving through ignorance, outdated beliefs in yourself to come over into compassion and understanding because you didn't actually know better at that time. We've always got to be soft on ourselves first. Then bring the weight forward. warrior two. Bring that elbow down, open up, side angle. Feel one line stretching you from your little fingers to your little toes. Come back into warrior two. If you need, grab your block and position it just in front of you. And I'm going to show you this next pose. So we're going to go into half moon. So half moon looks like this. What I do is I'm basically transitioning up. I've got balance today. My back leg comes up. My other hand is on my hip to stabilize, and then I've got my hand on the block to help me with balance. Once I'm there, I begin pushing into the base leg to open up that top hip. And then if I can, I bend my knee. Everything's slow and mindful here. And I reach. Woo! Sometimes it'll happen. I reach for that top leg into half dances. And then extend out. I come gently and mindfully down into warrior two and come down to the ground. Now I normally do that on the other side, so that's why I had a few wobbles. But it's a good pose. So start with your block or your brick just in front of your toes, maybe about a foot width in front of the toes. Somewhere where it feels comfortable. Starting in warrior two. Look towards the ground and imagine that you can move in one motion. So pulling through pelvic floor, pull your core towards your spine, and then lifting up that back foot, place your back hand on your sacrum and then reaching down for the block. And then once you're there, push into that standing leg to open up that top leg. Draw the toes of your left foot towards you. You can raise your arm up, and then you can bend that knee and reach for that foot somewhere in space. Ooh. And if you fall out, it doesn't matter. And then coming back down into warrior two. Cartwheel the hands down. That's a big stretch. Raise that front foot up. And then coming down, either holding a downward dog, coming through your flow, or resting in child's, whatever feels good for you. And then we're going to go on the other side. So, breathing in, 2, 3, and out, 2, 3. Raising the left foot up this time. Bring the knee towards the chest, pull the belly towards the spine, set the foot in between the hands, coming up into warrior one. Stretch the mat with your legs. Bring the hands down, warrior two. Look through the middle of the front hand. Bring the elbow down to the thigh, open up, side angle. Feel that stretch, one long line. Circle the hand down, back to warrior two. Reposition your brick if you need to. And then looking towards the brick, you're going to draw your belly towards the spine, activate the core, and see if you can mindfully come up, gently raising that foot up. Bring your other hand to the sacrum to keep you balanced. Draw your left toes towards you, so your right toes. And then if you want, open up that top hip, top hand, and then reach. Each side's going to feel different for half dances. And then slowly and mindfully coming out if you can. Coming back down into warrior two. Cartwheel the hands down. Raise that front foot up. down, coming back to downward dog, either holding in downward dog, resting in child's, or going through a flow. Whatever your body needs. And then everyone coming in downward dog. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, pull the belly towards the spine. Inhale, look towards the front as you step towards the front of the mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to the heart. Gently closing the eyes. Well done. Half moon is a challenging pose. It's always good to challenge ourselves. Find our edges. And balance is going to feel different every time you do it. Sometimes you'll be like, yeah, I've got this. Other times you'll just be falling all over. And, you know, you just accept it. It's what it is. We can't change that moment. There's no point getting frustrated. We just accept what is in that moment. Yoga teaches us a lot. So, opening up your eyes, picking your left leg up, stepping out to the side. This time we're coming into a wide stance. So, bringing your toes in towards each other, so pigeon toe. So, our feet, our sides of the feet are parallel to the mat. You can have a slight bend in your knees. Place your hands on your waist, and we're going to fold forward. So, we're bringing the weight forward onto the toes, and then we fold forward, bringing the hands down. Now from here, I want you to bend your knees and look up, coming to a half lift. And then exhale, forward fold, straightening the legs. Inhale, bend the knees, look up, shoulder blades back, half lift. Exhale, fold a little bit deeper. One more. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold and hold. You might want to walk your hands between your toes. Whatever feels good for you. Make sure to bring the weight forward on the toes, but also pushing your thighs back at the same time. Bring your hands onto your hips. Use the strength of the legs to come back up to standing. And then rolling the shoulders back. And then rolling them forwards. Shoulders up towards the ears. Drop. Up, drop. One more, drop. Grab your strap if it's nearby, because the next pose we're going to do is a shoulder opener, so I'll show you from the side. So what you're going to do is you're going to raise, I'll show you from the back. You're going to raise your right arm up and bend it behind you. Then bring your left arm out to the side and rotate the hand so it's facing away from you, and then either reach for your hand or reach for the strap. And then once you're there, slightly raise the sternum, and then you're going to lean forward as far as comfortable for you. This can be really strong on the shoulders, so go really, really gentle on yourself here. And then inhale to come back up. Release the strap, a bit of a wriggle to loosen those shoulders. And then we're going to go on the other side. So shoulders up towards the ears, drop. Up towards the ears, drop. One more, and drop. So this time the left side. So left hand comes up, down the back of the body, palm facing the back. Bring your right arm out to the side. Turn the hand away from you and bring that hand up the back as high as you can go. And you either reach the strap or even like your clothing sometimes you can reach. And then once you're there, slightly lift in the sternum, and then you're going to forward fold. So only go as far as comfortable for you. Really good opener for the shoulders. And then coming back up, releasing the strap. And making your way to the top of the mat. And you have an option here to either stand in meditation or go through a flow. If you feel like you want to keep moving and your body's like, yeah, I'm really awake, I want to keep going to a flow, then go. Inhale, down, coming into downward dog, coming to upward dog. Otherwise, we can just stand in standing meditation. So in standing meditation, we become aware of our feet. We feel if they're hip width apart, we might want to look down. And then becoming aware of where the weight is on the feet. Are you leaning towards the front of the foot or the back of the foot? Are you leaning onto one side or the other side? You might want to do little circles just on the bottom of the feet, just to feel that point of balance. And coming to that point where you can feel your big toes connecting with the earth, your little toes and your heel. Next, becoming aware of your knees. Noticing if your knees are locked and what that does to your spine. So slightly bend your knees and it's going to release the tailbone gently down towards the ground. It will tilt the pelvis slightly forward. Roll the shoulders up and back to open up the chest. Imagine you've got a piece of string holding up the top of the head. Slightly tuck the chin down. Release your hands out. Fingertips. Imagine you've got energy traveling through your fingertips, so fingertips are active. Closing the eyes. Tadasana. Now you can gently open your eyes and I'll show you the next pose. This is my ultimate favourite pose, FYI. So those of you who know me as a yoga teacher will know that this will come into pretty much any class that I teach because I love it so much. So we're going to go into dances. So to prep for dances, what we're going to do first is just play with our balance. So you should be feeling nice and secure and balanced and connected with the earth. I want you to bring your weight onto your right leg and lift your left leg up. And just draw the knee towards the chest and hold. If you find yourself wobbling, push into that standing leg and activate the buttock here. Squeeze that buttock in, it's going to help you with that balance. And then release down. And the other side. So feel strong on your left leg. Push it into the earth as you raise the right knee up and hold. Activate the left buttock, pulling through your core, and then release down. So we're going to go a little further this time. Bring your weight onto your right foot, step your left foot behind you, and you're just going to reach back for the foot with both hands. And feeling that nice thigh stretch. Try and keep your knees together rather than coming up to the side. Good. Gently place that foot behind you. So notice now it's behind me. I'm going to reach behind, turn my hand out away from me. And then I'm going to bend that knee and reach for the inside edge of my foot. Draw my thighs together. Then I'm going to bring my opposite arm, the right arm, up. I will begin to lean forward and kick that foot back at the same time. And then coming up Gently and mindfully and down. So I'm going to get you to join me in all that. So we're going to start with squeezing our knees in towards the chest, coming into the thigh stretch and then dancers. So bringing the weight onto the left foot, onto the right foot, squeezing the left knee up and hold. Activate your standing leg. And then bring it down. And we'll do the other side. So bring the weight onto the left leg and squeeze the right knee into the chest. Push into your standing leg, pull into your core. And release down. This time, coming into the full pose. Step your left foot behind you. Reach back with both hands for that foot. Draw the heel towards your buttock and draw your knees towards each other to feel that stretch in the thigh. And this might be as far as you want to go, and that's perfectly okay. So remember, each thing is your level. Or you want to go further, step the foot behind you. Turn your hand out away from you. Bend the back knee and reach back for the inside edge of that foot. Draw your knees towards each other. Raise the right hand. Begin to lead with the chest and kick that foot out. Lead with the chest, kick your foot. The more you kick, the further you'll go into the pose. Now we don't want to kick up. I don't want my hip to come up out to the side. I will fall. So try to keep our hips square. And then gently and mindfully, coming back. Bit of a wriggle. Isn't that such a beautiful pose? I love dances. It's like, probably because I dance, but just the pose itself feels so elegant and graceful and beautiful, and there's just elements of yoga that I just adore, and dances is one of them. Going on the other side. So first of all, we're going to do the thigh stretch. So bringing your weight onto your left foot and pick up your right leg, both hands, squeeze the thighs together, drawing your heel towards your butt. Feel that good stretch. This might be as far as you want to go. That's perfectly okay. If you want to go further, release the leg down, turn your hand out to the side, bend the leg, knee, reach for the inside edge of that foot. Reach your left arm up this time. Lean forward with the sternum. Kick the leg, foot into the hand. Lean forward. Kick. Lean forward. Kick up. Lean forward. Kick. Try and keep your hips square. And then gently and mindfully coming out. And give yourself a little bit of a shake to shake all that energy off, because balancing takes a lot of focus and a lot of concentration. So you've done really well. We've done half moon into dancers, so a lot of standing on one leg. So your legs will be speaking to you tomorrow probably. So we're going to make our way down to the ground. Coming towards the top of the mat, hands to the heart. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, look up. Exhale, fold, step back into downward dog. Option to flow through or just hold in downward dog and wait for the next part. However you're feeling. Roll in downward dog. We raise the right leg. Bring the knee towards the chest, pull the belly towards the spine and hold. Bring the weight forward over the hands and then gently place the right knee behind the right wrist. And extend the left leg behind you, stay up on your fingertips. Look behind to make sure that your left foot isn't curled under. So straighten that left leg. Stay up high on fingertips. We're going to do 3 rolls to come down to the ground. So using our hands, we inhale, then exhale, fold down. Inhale, push the hands into the earth to roll back up. Exhale, roll down. Inhale, push into the hands, roll up. Exhale, this time as you come down, walking your hands out, either resting your fist on top of a fist and resting your head down, or resting your head down on the earth and arms out in front. Whatever feels good for you. Breathing into any tight spaces. This is a really good pose after dances because it kind of feels a little bit like dances on the ground with the way your hips are positioned. And we all have tight hamstrings. So beginning to walk your hands back and staying up on fingertips. Rock onto the outside edge of your right thigh and then sweep your left leg around and round in air to come over into a twist or into prep for a twist. Now, if this is too strong for your body, extend your right leg underneath you so that your leg is straight. But if you feel good, you can keep that foot bent underneath you. So from here, we want to draw our knee towards our chest. We're going to turn our body towards the left, lift our right arm up, and either bring the elbow in front of the knee, or if that's too much for you, bring your hand, your arm around the knee to cradle the knee. And then bring your left hand behind you to come into the twist. We want to keep both hip bones on the ground. So if one hip bone is riding up, then you've gone too far, or you might want to extend your leg. And you want to make sure that your head is in line with your spine. You're not twisting your head over here when your body's over here. Push the big toe of the left foot into the ground to activate that leg. And then we're going to gently release it to the other side. So gently releasing, coming over to the other side. Place your hands on the ground and lean slightly into the hands. This is a very gentle counter twist. Now, you're going to uncurl your right leg, sorry, left and right at this time, and then keep your left knee bent. So our right leg is straight and our left knee is bent. We're going to come into a forward fold. So you can grab a strap here if you want. So we're going to do 3 rolls to come down. The rolls are really good because they help to position our hips, if I show you. If I try and do this motion without having a bent knee and without having rolls, I kind of come to here, can kind of reach my toes, but it doesn't look very good, it doesn't look very comfortable. So to modify, I bend this front knee, I can bring this foot a little bit under, and then I'm going to do these rolls, which is going to encourage my hips to come forward so my chest comes towards my toes. So we're going to start with our hands towards our feet. You're going to trail the hands along the floor, trail up the body, reach as high as you can, and then forward fold. And again, trail along the ground, up through the body, up high, and then reach forward. One more, along the ground, up the body, reach up, reach forward, and hold. Draw your toes towards you. Wherever you are holding on your leg is perfectly okay. There are no competitions. Least of all with yourself. Inhale. As you exhale, you can try and extend that leg a little bit further, just the titchiest bit. Then inhale. Exhale, extending a little bit further, drawing your chest towards your toes. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Then walking your hands back towards your feet. Cross your legs over. Lean back on your hands and you're going to rock over the front of the body, uncurling the feet, coming back into downward dog. Option to go through a flow through if you want, or you can just hold in downward dog. Ready for the other side. So everyone in downward dog. Raising the left leg. Bring the knee towards the chest, pull the belly towards the spine, bring the weight forward towards the hands, and then bring that left knee behind the left wrist. Uncurl the back foot, make sure that it's not curled under. Stay up high on the fingertips, pulling through pelvic floor. 3 rolls. We're going to roll down. Push into the hands to come back up. Inhale. Exhale, roll down. Inhale, push up. Exhale, this time walking your hands out, either resting fist on top of fist, resting your head on the ground, or resting on a block if you've got it nearby. Breathing into any tight spaces. And then beginning to walk your hands back. Staying up on fingertips. Bring your weight onto the left thigh. Bring your right leg around, around, around to cross in front. Remember, you can extend that left leg in front if that's too strong for you. So we're going to come into our twist. So sit up high. You're going to twist towards the right. Bring your left elbow in front of the right knee. Bring your hand into a stop sign. Or hook your elbow around that knee and hold onto it, drawing it in towards the chest. Make sure both sit bones are on the ground. And make sure you're not twisting your neck too far. And remember to breathe. And then gently releasing, we're going to go into that counter twist. So turn towards the other side, bring your hands briefly down to the ground, lean into the hands, and then come back up. And then if you've got that foot hooked underneath, extend your left leg so it's long, and your right knee, so it's bend your right knee. We're going to come into those rolls again. Remember, you can hook a strap over your foot. You can bend this front knee. We start with our hands beside our feet. We draw the hands up through the center and then forward fold. Draw the hands along the ground, up the body, up high, forward fold. One more. Along, up the body, reach up, and then forward fold. Reach your chest towards your toes, draw your toes towards you, and hold. And you can use your breath to go deeper into the pose. So on the inhale, exhale, you can extend that leg a little further forward. Inhale to extend. Exhale to fold. And then walking your hands back. This time extending your right leg forward and giving the legs a bit of a shake. So we're going to go into one more forward fold. Remember, you can use your strap. We'll do the 3 rolls. You can bend your knees. There's always options. Hands towards the feet. Draw the hands up through the center. Forward fold. Draw up through the center and fold. One more. And forward fold, chest towards the toes. Draw the toes towards you. Relax the head and neck. Breathe into any tight spaces. Then gently walking the hands back. Draw your feet up towards the top of the mat. We're going to make our way down towards the ground. Draw your toes towards you. Now you can go as fast or slow as you want here. You might want to just lie on the ground or you might want to follow me. So drawing your belly towards the spine, Hands out in front. Relax the shoulders. Working down 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Pause here and little pulses, little circles. The other direction. 5, 4, 3. Pause, little pulses, circles. 2, 1, and down, all the way down to the ground. Stretch your arms, stretch your legs when you get there. Side out. Oh, that feels so good. And again, stretch, long, and release. Stretch opposite arm, opposite leg. Oh, and the other side. I can stretch like this all day. It feels so good. So we're going to bring your arms down beside your hips. Bend your knees, and just so that you can touch the back of your heels. We're going to come into bridge. You can use a block. I'm looking for my block for bridge, and I'll show you how. If you're feeling like you've had enough and you just need to rest. So make sure you can touch the outer edges, the back of your heels, and look down and make sure you can see the outer edges of both feet, and that tells you that your feet are in alignment with your hips. Draw your knees together. Push into your legs as you raise your hips off the ground. Now if you're putting a block underneath, grab that block and place it underneath the hips, under the sacrum. Or if you want to go further, you can roll one shoulder under than the other and then clasp the hands and come up a little higher. Squeeze your knees together, push your hips up towards the sky. Squeeze the knees, rise up. And then if you've got your hands clasped, release one hand and the other. And if you've got the block, remove that away. And then see if you can gently come down one vertebra at a time. So really being mindful of your spine, keeping your abdomen contracted to try and control the descent. And then just holding here for a moment or two. Bring your arms out to the side. Bring your feet out as wide as the mat. Keep your knees bent. And you're gently going to windscreen wiper from one side to the other. So just gently letting the weight of the knees go from one side to the other. And if you want to go into a stronger twist, you're welcome to, because we're just going to go into a gentle twist here. So bring the knees over to the side and then just rest on that side. Look towards the opposite hand. Then draw the knees up to the center and then over to the other side. Look towards that opposite hand. Then draw the knees up into the center. And then squeeze them into the chest. And if there's anything that you feel you want to do before you go into Shavasana, you're welcome to. If there's any pose that you're like, my body really wants that right now, you're welcome to go into it. Or else grab yourself something warm, a blanket or a shawl, it's hopefully nearby, so that you can rest. So when you're ready, releasing one leg out and the other, letting it go floppy, relaxing, releasing the arms down, feeling your body pressing into the earth. Feel the weight, the back of the legs. Feeling the back of the arms, pressing into the earth. Becoming aware of your breath. Slowly becoming aware of the sound of my voice. Gently beginning to wriggle the fingers and the toes, allowing movement and sensation to slowly come back into the body. Taking breaths into the belly, circling the ankles, circling the wrists, perhaps stretching overhead, and then coming over to roll over onto your right hand side, keeping the eyes closed. Then making your way up into a seated position when you're ready. Keeping your eyes closed, bringing your hands onto your knees. And just beginning to make those small spirals, so just gentle spirals to the right. Noticing if there's any difference between the start of class and now, and then gently spiraling the other direction. Noticing if there's more ease and flow in the body. And make this spiral smaller and smaller till you come to a complete stop. Noticing how you feel. Becoming aware of your breath. Becoming aware of your posture seated on the ground. Becoming aware of any thoughts or lack of thoughts. Either keeping your hands on your knees or bringing your hands to your heart. I invite you to picture in your mind someone you know who's going through a hard time. They might be unwell, they might be struggling. It could be an animal that you love dearly that's going through a hard time. It could be the whole world. That feels very relevant right now. So picture this person or animal or group of people, and I invite you to send your your feeling of peace, out to them. So we're going to do 3 ohms. Inhale to begin. May all beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings have happiness and the causes for happiness. Thank you for joining me for this beautiful practice of yoga. Thank you to all my teachers before me. Namaste.